What's up? How are you?
So how's it feel to be the interim coach?
It's a blessing. Very grateful. I appreciate, their security, and I appreciate their trust, in me and how I can just help facilitate, and bring the organization closer to its goal. And so very grateful for that. Oh, yeah, I haven't yet, but I need to. I mean, John Wooden? I don't know. It seemed like he had it figured out. It seemed like it was pretty simple. So I'd like to be able to kind of just think what he was thinking during the game, how he processed the game, how he processed adjustments, stuff like that. He's obviously one of the best of all time, so I think that'd be pretty cool. What's up, Gary? What's up, Chris? Does he get it? Look at him. No, it means a lot. Both my kids and my wife, they've sacrificed more than I have, for me to get to this, and I'm very grateful. And so for me to be able to give back, to them by having this experience, I'm forever indebted to them. Well, he hit one last week against us, so I told him to reenact it. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, absolutely. No, it's just cool to see these guys. Like, you compete against them. And like I said before, these guys are only looked at as players and not people all the time. And so to be able to just kind of be in a different environment with them, where you just get to see them, get to know them, that was really exciting. I already know where you're going. Go ahead.
Hello, I have a question for you, sir.
You got it.
Who do you have winning the dunk contest tonight?
You? Are you in it? All right. I got you in it.
Last question. Who would you pick? Drake, J. Cole?
Dang, you're trying to get me in trouble. Me personally, I like Drake, but I think all three are great rappers. Great. I think they're great artists, all three of them. Me personally, I like to listen to Drake. Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, I watch more soccer. I believe in doing things other than basketball to open up the brainwaves, open up the creativity, open up spontaneity. And so I watch a lot of soccer and kind of use that to kind of open up, things that I can see, things that may be able to help finding different advantages. I think just the spacing. I think teams that value possession, what they do with that possession, how long they keep it for, how do they generate runs, how they use runs to generate angles to create an opportunity somewhere else on the field. So that kind of, to me, plays a part in half-court offense is once you generate an advantage, what can you use to keep that advantage? Oh, Manchester City, by far. Yeah. Tough day today for us, but we did get a point, though, so. The players. Their buy-in, their trust, their character, who they are as people, how hungry they are to want to win. And so if you, as a coach, if you don't have the right players and the right people, you're nothing. And so I'm grateful to have them. I'm grateful that we have a great locker room. Yeah, just be myself, I think, but at the same time, have a couple things that you really believe in and don't waver from those. And so, because I've been in the organization for some time, I kind of knew what buttons to push. I knew who to lean on in certain situations. And so really relying on the guys, but picking two or three things that's like, hey, we have to do this to get to where we want to get to, and really believing in it. I think spacing on offense is really important. I think buying into making reads and not just relying on set plays is important. And then I think just the ability to handle the ebbs and flows of an NBA season and not overreact to them and not get too caught up in anything other than where are we at right now and what do we need to do to get to where we want to go.
Joe, Showtime basketball, what was it like having Paul Pierce in practice a couple weeks ago?
Man, it was great. Those two guys have paved the way, and because of the situation I'm in, I have a responsibility to the Celtics and the city of Boston, and being able to kind of be with those guys and kind of learn how they handled the responsibility, and they executed their responsibility. And so grateful that they welcomed me into, the Celtics family, and that they've given me great insight on, what it was like and how they got to where they wanted to get to.
Would you like to have him back at some point this season, maybe in the playoffs?
Anytime they can come back.
One more. If you could pick any player from NBA history to bring with you to the blacktop, pickup game, who would it be?
Kobe Bryant.
Why?
I just like Kobe as a person. I loved how well-rounded he was. He could speak 3 different languages. He was a man of faith. Studied music, martial arts. He was just well-rounded, and he was just on a quest for greatness. And so I'm inspired by that.
You're reading about Al Horford and his role as a mentor, as a leader.
Yeah, you can't be successful without people like him. And he's a cornerstone of our locker room and our organization because of his humility. And he's just a downright warrior. And, he loves to win. He loves to compete to win. And he'll do whatever the team needs for the team to win. And so you can't be successful without people like him. Appreciate that. Thank you. I think just embracing everything that it stands for. And so, coaching the Celtics, coaching a team that has a tradition of excellence and winning, and has so many people, successful people that have come through its organization, to embrace the responsibility of what that comes with and work every day to, add to that is really fun. Thank you.
How much have you talked to him all in the last kind of 3 months? What have those conversations been like?
I haven't talked to him, just because of the circumstances, but I am grateful for him. He didn't have to keep me on when he was hired here without ever knowing me, but he trusted people that knew me, and I appreciate that. And, I got to only work for 2 people in the NBA. It's Brad and Ime. And if I didn't have both of those, I wouldn't be as comfortable in the situation that I'm in now. So I'm grateful that he, kept me. I'm grateful that he trusted me and empowered me. And I'm really grateful that he gave me an opportunity.
Something, because you only work with 2 guys, something you took from him that experience in 1 year that you use now as an interim.
Yeah, he just had a great poise about him. Even when things weren't going well for us as a team, he never overreacted, never wavered from who he was. Just did a great job staying, even-keeled as far as where we were as a team. And he was a player's coach. He saw the game from a player's perspective, which is something that I needed to see because I had seen it from a coach's perspective in Brad and someone that didn't play in the NBA. And so seeing it from his perspective really helped me navigate and generate relationship management. Oh, man. Man, I love hip-hop. Brown Sugar is one of my favorite movies. My wife and I watch it all the time, so, I love that. My first album was the Fugees. So I love the Fugees. And I just remember arguing with my mom because I couldn't find the edited version of the CD. And so I had to try and buy it without it and still listen to it. And so the Fugees is like my welcome to hip-hop. J. Cole. Yeah. I don't listen to music before a game, but top 3 artists for me are Drake, A Boogie, and, a combination of, man, I like R&B. So, whether it's LMA, whether it's, whoever comes across the playlist like that, that's kind of what I like.
All right, last question. Favorite Drake album?
Ooh. So I made a playlist of all the intros of all his albums. And so that's my playlist is all his intros. But I like Certified Lover Boy. I think that was, a really good album. Take Care was really good. I like Views probably, I have to say, though, the best. All right, thanks. Yeah, I think the cool thing about him is just his trajectory, and he was a student of the game at such a young age, and I loved watching him in EuroLeague his ability to read pick and roll and ability to see different coverages and ability to dominate a game at such a young age. So I love watching him in EuroLeague, and I think he's brought a lot of his European experience to the NBA with some of the stuff that Dallas runs and the way he makes his read progressions versus different defenses. And, I don't think he was switched as much as he is here in Dallas, so his ability to navigate switching and just his overall creativity on the offensive end is really cool. Yeah, he plays with a chip on his shoulder, and so I like that about him.
Congrats on
Thank you, I appreciate it.
we talked a bunch this year about how Jason can handle the minutes low that he's playing and kind of how he's preparing himself to go deep into the playoffs. He's talked a bunch about the way he's adjusted things from different last year, but play better later in the playoffs. How have you seen him kind of grow and mature in the past couple of years and learn how to manage the load he's obviously got to carry?
Yeah, so I'd say one thing about Jason and Jalen. They're two guys that embrace the responsibility of being a great player in the NBA who people want to see and want to compete at a high level. So for both of those guys, you have to beg them not to play. And I'd say even Smart's in that category. And so they don't get enough credit because it's all about management now, and it's all about the sports science, which is very important. But we're losing these guys love playing basketball. And our whole team is like that. And for a guy like Jason, we're spending too much time talking on how many minutes he is playing instead of he is embracing the responsibility of being a great player and doesn't want to sit out games because it's his responsibility to play in that game for the league, for his family, for himself, for the team, and for the world. And, yes, he's made great adjustments as far as his mental approach, his diet, his exercise, his lifting. He's made great investments in his life that have helped him take on this responsibility. And so I really want to change the narrative, especially for him and our players, where, they embrace playing basketball and they love basketball, and I think that's important.
Well, again, more what I was asking about is the part about embracing it. It's
Yeah.
This sort of holistic thing. So, you've been with him for 2 years. So
Yeah.
How have you seen him kind of grow and evolve?
Just his routines. He's very detailed routine. He doesn't waste time. He's made a conscious decision and investment in his body as far as lifting, as far as sleep, as far as breathing, as far as his diet. And so everything he does now is set up to where he can be at his absolute best for long periods of time. And I think some of that just comes with time. Some of that just comes with learning how to do it. You can't just pick it up and start doing it in day one. You have to learn how to do it. And so I think he's very aware, very honest with himself about where he is and how can he get better. And he's done that. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, he's got great potential. He plays with such a joy with the game. He's such a fun player to watch. And so he plays with a level of joy. And he's getting better at just reading the game. And his ability to create shots for himself and for his teammates is a huge dynamic that he brings.
Joe, I want to ask about the final targets you shared All-Star, then you in the G League, some experimentation there this year. Do you think that would be something advantageous to bring to the NBA?
I think it's a fun for this. Whatever the rules are, I'll play.
Your opinion, though.
I honestly don't have one. Whatever rules are out there, I'm gonna do two things. One, I'm gonna follow them, and two, I'm gonna find ways around them in order to create advantage for my team and for ourselves. So whatever we gotta do that gives us the best chance to win, we'll do it. You don't. You just have fun. Yeah, we've done a little bit of that. I think it's important to prepare for each guy, learning about them as players and people so that you can kind of connect with them in the short time that you have. But I like the idea of not knowing because it breeds a level of creativity and, improvisation, which I think is cool.
You guys have been playing a playoff level of ball all year. Has you just made anything changing, like that cliche, go to the next level, flip a switch, whatever it is? What changes, if anything, in that last 25 games or whatever's left?
Our environment will change. And so we have to make sure we don't. Our environment's going to change. Stakes are going to change. The attention, scrutiny, all that's going to change. We just can't change. And I think it's important to know that as you're, being aware of your environment.
How much do you think about Bill? How much do you know about him? What have you learned about him during these Celtics?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot about him because when I walk out there, I see the banners, and I see the legacy that he left. And I have a responsibility to that legacy to try and leave it in a better place. Met his wife, Had coffee with her yesterday. And so I think just understanding who he was as a person. And, he was one of the first guys to not be identified as just a basketball player, but a person. And that's important because I value that.
Coach, are there any rule changes that you would like to see to have a better balance between offense and defense in the NBA?
No, not really.
You like the way
I love the game. Yeah, I love the game.
So I'm sure you've been asked already, so I apologize, but when Brad came to you and said, this is what we're going to do, what were those moments like for you? What were you feeling? Did you expect it? Is it something you thought about? I guess can you try to take us through?
Yeah, I didn't expect it, but I had faith. So no expectations, more faith that it would work out and that I was exactly where I was supposed to be, where God wanted my family and I. And so that was the first thing. And the second thing was gratitude. Just grateful, because I know how fortunate I am. And then the third one was like, just don't have time to think about anything else except how do we execute. Excuse me? Sorry.
First time since college coaching as a non-interim.
Really? Oh.
Been interim coach all year.
I know. I'm going to miss that term, I guess, a little bit. And my thing is, the interim tag was never a thing because we're all, interms. And I think you have to kind of have a short-term, view, but also a long-term and kind of who we are. And, as coaches, we're here to make the game. The game's not ours. It doesn't belong to us. And so for however long I'm here, that doesn't really matter. What matters is kind of, the seeds that we plant and the things that we're able to accomplish as a team. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's difficult. It just puts him in. You can't prepare for every situation because you don't know where he's going to be. He could be on the left block, could be on the right block, could be at the nail, could be setting a screen, could be coming off a screen. So that level of creativity and randomness makes it very difficult to guard him. And it's cool that he embraces that because I think that's a level of. I think that's kind of what you have to have as you grow in this league because defenses are getting so much better and schemes are so much better. And so it's definitely hard, but I enjoy watching it because of the creativity and the randomness. Me? Man, I'm probably getting more fouls than points. Nah, no question. I'm getting 6 fouls. Easy. I don't know. I can't shoot, so I don't know how many points I'm scoring.
We just took a photo of you and showed it to all the fans at the All-Star game tomorrow. What percent of them do you think would know your name?
30 maybe?
30?
Yeah.
One more question. What question do you want to be asked right now?
Whatever. I don't know.
All right.
And there's been a really good array of questions. I've enjoyed the hip-hop questions. I've enjoyed, the questions about artists. I enjoyed talking soccer a little bit. So
A friend named Sam.
I do. Sam Hauser.
Can I be?
Sure. Yeah. All right. Hold on. He's got one. He's a... My faith, number one. My faith, and then the people around me. I've always been, I've been fortunate enough to be surrounded by good people, basketball and non-basketball. And so I've been able to use everything that the people have taught me. And I wouldn't be here without, my faith and the people God put in my life that have kind of raised me. From my parents to my coaches to my spiritual advisors to, some of the people that I've come across during adverse times. So I'd say those two things. Stay out of the way and have as much fun as possible. It means a lot. It means a lot because, one, I'm grateful for the players because I wouldn't be here if our guys didn't play hard and if they didn't win at a high level. And I'm grateful for the staff, because without their buy-in and their work, we wouldn't be here. And so really grateful that we've gotten to experience this as an organization and our families. And then it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
Expectations were high this coming into the season. Did you exceed it?
I have not done anything yet.
Well, you're in first place. You're the coach of Team Janet, right?
Yes.
So
We got a long way to go, though.
Yeah. How does it feel to be here? To know that you're doing your job?
It feels good. Like I said, it feels good because I have good people around me. We have a great locker room, strong locker room. So me sitting here representing the East, representing the Celtics is a testament to our locker room, testament to our staff and our organization. Thank you.
So were there any on mixtapes and highlight culture? Do you ever,
Man, I miss mixtapes, man. Lloyd Banks.
were there any that you remember watching or inspired by when you were?
Mixtapes?
Yeah, they were like the Ball is Life stuff.
Oh, those mixtapes. I think you're talking like freestyle, like.
Yeah.
Oh, I never really got into those as much. I was more like I like listening to mixtapes, like music.
And then do you think sort of mixtape culture and highlight culture is like changing how people play basketball?
Yeah, I do. I do think it is changing. I don't know if it's good or bad, but it definitely changes the perspective of how you look at the game, how people grow in the game, how people develop in the game. I definitely think it has an impact. I don't think it's good or bad. Yeah, I think just the fluidity that there isn't one way to guard on each possession. Every possession generates a different defensive read, and so, I think the last 5 years offense has been all about reads and development and small-sided games, and I think defense is the same way, where you go from, used to have a lot of rules like, hey, we're doing this on every possession, but now it's like, hey, because offenses are so dynamic and creative, we have to be just as creative on defense.
What do you think about the advances in the game offense? Because if you look 25 years ago, you'll say you'll get people who aren't happy about rule changes, guys playing differently. But if you look 25 years from now, like how should we kind of look at how the game is progressing?
I think it's just a constant fluid motion of creativity. I think is how I like how I view basketball. Fluidity, creativity, art. If you look at it that way, it could evolve. Could always evolve.
Sorry, one more. Are there any underrated guys in the media or people are talking about?
I don't know. I don't really see too much in the media. When it comes to my team, I think all of our guys are underrated because they're great people, and we don't talk enough about the person. We always talk about the player, stats, MVP racing, and we don't talk enough about the people. And so I think, my team's underrated because we have such great people. I'm sure it happened. I'm sure it did. Didn't mind it at the time. I just used it as motivation. My faith and the people around me. Everybody asks what was the transition like? I have one of the best, strongest, motivated, humble locker rooms. And so when you go into the office every day knowing who you have and what your foundation is, it allows you and gives you a sense of, freedom to be able to know you can do your job at a high level because of the people you have.
Last question, guys.
That's it?
With the NBA getting more and more international, what do you think this has done for the game?
Oh, I love the international kind of flair it's brought, and I think it's helped us. I think that's why offenses are constantly growing, is because of some of the international concepts and themes that we bring to the game. And so I think it's going to continue. And that's one of the most fun parts I have of watching the game and studying the European aspect to it and how it's helped me as a coach, how you can see offenses generated. And so, I think from a tactical standpoint, it's really helped. And I also think just from a marketing standpoint, it's helped a lot because people are starting to look at basketball in a different light. And I enjoy that. Excuse me? I think in a certain way. I don't know if, the passion that soccer has is definitely something that is really hard to measure. But I do think basketball is becoming close because I think they're similar sports. And the more you can build a similarity, in the creativity and the art and the flow of both of those sports, I think is cool. And that's a goal of mine for sure.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you.
Humility and faith. Those are the two biggest things that he brings. And the third one is he's a competitor. Thank you.